Okay, we're back with video number 2 for day number 10. Of course, we're talking about fat. And on the screen here, you can see various sources of fat that you can include in your diet. Now, in the dairy category, again, I would probably not encourage you to be making this your primary source of fat intake, things like butter, cheese, cream. You want to have these in very small to minimal quantities. Right below that, you have fish or other forms of seafood. And fish, as you know, is a great source of protein, but they also are very rich in healthy fats that you will want to include. Now, the only thing I'll say about fish, and also the next category, fatty meats, which also are very rich in protein, is that if you're already using one of these sources, for example, salmon or tuna, or beef, steak, pork, if you're using that as your source of protein, remember 2 days ago we said that you want to include a piece of protein or lean meat on your dinner plate, let's say, for example, that's about the same size and thickness as your palm. But if you're choosing it from one of these sources that are also rich in fats, you don't have to add any additional fats, and that would be considered a combination food where it contains both protein as well as healthy fats. Does that make sense? Well, let's look to the next 3 categories, which is where I would encourage you more strongly to get your healthy fat options into your diet. So oils, olive oil, flax oil, and other fish oils, these would be considered healthy fats. They are pure fat, but they're of the good variety. They're the fats that are going to help you burn fat. And so those sources would be good for you. Nuts, almonds, walnuts, there's a long list of foods from the nut family, again, that are going to be very rich and dense in fats, but again, they're of the healthy fat variety. So you can include those in moderation as well. And then finally, in the miscellaneous category, in the bottom right, the other category, we have peanut butter, which you can include in, again, moderation. You don't want to go nuts with the peanut butter. Almond butter is another great source. Avocado, piece of fruit that's very rich in its healthy fat content. Flaxseed or flax oil is again going to be another great source of healthy fat. And finally, egg yolks, which kind of got a bad name several years ago. But again, eggs are one of those combination foods where the white part of the egg is going to be very rich in protein, and then the yellow yolk in the center is going to be more rich in its fat content. So that would be a good combination food again. And if you're eating whole eggs, you would be getting your protein source as well as your fat from that one food. So there's a long list of foods that you can include to get your fat intake from. Now you've built your plate. You've got a piece of protein in there about the same size and thickness as your palm. You've got a fistful of carbohydrates from a variety of sources, primarily fruits and vegetables. And then you've got your free vegetables that you can also include there on the side. And now you can add a little bit of healthy fat to the mix. Now the next question, of course, is going to be how much healthy fat should I add? And that's what we're going to talk about right now. Of course, we use the hand measure method to measure out a fistful of carbohydrates, a palmful, or the same size and thickness of your palm when we're measuring out our protein. Well, when it comes to fats, I want to encourage you to include, where needed, a thumb's worth. So you see the hand right on your screen here. If you were to just kind of look at the same size and thickness of your thumb, that's about how much oil or how much fat you would want to add to your meal to give you a nice healthy balance. So you don't actually need a whole lot. It's not a massive quantity. It's not going to take up a massive real estate on your plate, but it's just a small add-on food, generally the fats. Again, keeping in mind that if your protein source already contains fat, like lamb, for example, or whole eggs, or salmon, for example, they contain protein and fat. You do not need to add any fat, but only add fats where there's no fat already on your plate. Does that make sense? So there you have it. We've talked about protein, we've talked about carbohydrates, and we've talked about fat, and we simply stated that with Fat Loss Golden Rule number 4, eat some healthy essential fat with each meal and snack. That's all for today. We are going to keep it moving with tomorrow's lesson, and I will see you then.